Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, welcoming the beautiful Katrina Bowden to Behind the Velvet Rope. Make sure to check her out on her awesome new show, TNT's Public Morals, every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. The first 4 episodes are on demand, so check them out. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. Hello, Katrina Bowden. Long time no see. The last time I was talking to you was at the premiere of your fabulous new show, and you and I were just talking before we got started. Everybody on Twitter loved Public Morals last night. It's got to be such a great thrill getting that response.
Yeah, that's it. That was the general vibe, is that everyone really liked it and really liked the characters and can't wait to watch more. So it was very exciting.
My favorite tweet of the night was Ed Burns saying, "Thank you for all the great feedback. Time to go get a beer. See you in 10 minutes." So he was like doing his victory lap on Twitter. He's like, yes, people like the show.
That's amazing.
This show, and I talked to you at the premiere, but one of the things I love is there's so many different things happening at the same time, and especially with your character, who we don't know yet as Fortune, but we will know as Fortune shortly. There's so much going on with her that more than meets the eye. Talk to me about the character and what can people expect.
The character, she's a high-end call girl in the 1960s, and she in the first episode she gets busted by Ed Burns and Michael Rappaport, their characters, and she's really multi-layered. She's a prostitute, but she's also has a very sweet side. She's manipulative and she's kind of mysterious, so you don't really ever know if she's lying or not, but you kind of like her at the same time, regardless of all of that. And she kind of starts to play Michael Rappaport's character a little bit, because he's a big softie.
And you see that in the first episode already.
So he's like Ed Burns' muscle, but he's also, just like a sweet softie deep down. So he kind of falls for it and wants to help her out. So you'll see a lot of more of that relationship as the season progresses. And, at the end of the day, this character, she is just a girl who wants to have a sort of normal life, but she works in a industry that doesn't really that won't really provide that for her. So it kind of becomes a struggle between her and what she does and who she is and what she wants in her life that she can't really have.
One of the things I love is you go from 30 Rock, which is one of the most iconic, quirky comedies of probably the last 25 years, to this type of role. That's got to be such a unique transition. I mean, you became everybody's favorite assistant in America. I mean, you were on the cover of magazines. It was crazy. To now going to this, as an actress, talk to me about that transition.
Well, I've always loved drama. I did start in comedy, and I've done more comedy than I have done drama. But I always saw myself going the more dramatic route eventually. And the transition is definitely weird. It's definitely it's very different on set, a different feel, a different kind of like attitude between everybody. Like on 30 Rock, everyone was just joking the entire day. There were lots of jokes. There was everyone was on all times, and it was just like a ball of laughs all day long. And Public Morals, the set is very fun and really great as well. But we're dealing with heavier material. I wasn't delivering just zingy one-liners that got everyone cracking up. So there's definitely a different feel on set. And it was really cool though too at the same time, because I love drama, like I said. So to be a part of this show and to be a part of Ed Burns' passion project is really special to me, and it was such an honor to work with him and to be a part of this.
So 30 Rock, everyone loved it. When that show, and you and I were just talking about it, in the beginning, it wasn't the hit that it ended up becoming. When that show hits and fame is thrown upon you, what is that all like?
It was so cool. I was also so young too. I started on the show when I was 17, so I think by the time we were recognized as a TV show and got some fame and some more attention, I was like 19, so it's a young age to kind of be in that spotlight. It was really, really cool though. But I also, that being said, I had such a cool group of people around me that were like really good role models. Like, who's better as a teenage girl to have as a role model than Tina Fey? So that was really, really special as well. And like you said, the show, we for our first 2 seasons, we got nominated for Emmys, but we didn't really have a lot of viewers. So there was always that worry of getting canceled. So by season 3, I think we really started to get a lot more attention when Tina Fey was doing the Sarah Palin impressions on SNL. Yeah. So then all of a sudden, people who had never heard of the show were coming up to me and being like, "Hey, you're on 30 Rock, right? I love Tina Fey as Sarah Palin." And I was like, "This is amazing." Like, who knew that it would take something like that to get the show that much attention? And it did. And then it became very, very, very popular after that.
It ends up throwing you into like sex symbol status. I mean, I think it was Maxim magazine what had you as like their number one.
It was Esquire. Yeah,
that's huge.
That's
like
a
really
big crazy. It was so weird.
When that starts happening, is it mind blowing to see people looking at you that way?
Yeah, I don't really know how to describe it. It's cool and it's really flattering, and I mean, I certainly don't see myself that way. So I'm kind of, I'm clumsy. I'm kind of like I don't really think of myself in that way. So, but it's really cool and it's really flattering and it's amazing. And that Esquire piece that I did, I think, it was maybe like 2010, was so cool. It was my first time ever doing anything like sexy, and it was very exciting. And my parents are very proud.
I can't even imagine. If I ever was like something like that, my dad would be like, "What idiots who put you on the cover of anything?"
It's really funny. So I bought my first Maxim cover that I did. We went out and my husband and I went out and we bought a couple of them because he wanted to give one to his mom, and his mom was embarrassed to go and buy it in the store. So we went to like our local CVS, and I was like, "Well, I feel weird buying it because like they're gonna notice it's me." And my now husband was like, "Oh, don't even worry about it. Like no one's gonna notice." And we go up to the register, and the lady says, "Oh, these girls these days showing their butts on the cover of magazines." She's like, awesome. "This is ridiculous. Look at this." And I was just like, I turned like bright purple, and I just like looked down at my feet, and I was just like, "Get me out of here." It was like my worst nightmare. It was so embarrassing. And then when we left, I just gave my husband a hard time about like, "Oh, really? No one's gonna say anything." And then this crazy lady says like the worst thing.
He's like as proud as a dude can be. He's like, life is good.
It was a very funny moment.
Does it change your career path? So obviously you're on this hit show. Do offers start coming in? Do things begin to change when that type of exposure occurs? Yeah,
things start to change when you get that type of exposure. And as an actress who wants to do a lot of different things and wants to make the right choices, a lot of things you have to kind of filter through. You don't want to do the same type of roles and the same type of things over and over and over again. So, it brings a lot of opportunities up, but it also it can get you pigeonholed in some ways too. So you have to try to break out of that.
When you saw what happened with Tracy, and obviously we're now seeing the good news coming out of this whole situation. He's hosting SNL. He just got married. So much great stuff happening. Yeah. But everything I've heard, and I just was telling you, I interviewed Tina Fey recently, and the thing you always get from her is how close her casts are. I mean, even Kimmy Schmidt, it's like Ellie was just telling the same thing. It's like a family. And I heard the same thing on 30 Rock. When it happened with Tracy, what was the reaction?
It was heartbreaking. He had had a couple rough years, and then he was doing so well, and everything was going so great, and then this tragedy happened, and I can't even imagine how tough it was for him, and I know it was tough for all of us to see him in that way too. But I'm very, very, very happy that he's on the mend, and very proud of him for taking these steps and getting back in the game.
With Public Morals, we're seeing now more of an adult role. Obviously, you'd mentioned with 30 Rock, you were young, you're a teenager, you're a kid. Now this is a very adult role. Was that a focus in wanting to do this?
Definitely. Fortune, I think, is such an interesting character, and she's a way more serious adult character. She has issues. She has problems, and she has desires and wants, and she's manipulative, and it was so great to like sink my teeth into a character like that, because for a long time I played like young, easygoing characters, so it was really, really, really special to be able to dive into this character and take on that role.
With the reviews, and we were just talking about it, the reviews have been terrific on the show. I feel like this is almost like a renaissance for Ed, because he's such a brilliant filmmaker, he's a great writer, and now this show is getting so much recognition. To see him getting, because he's wearing every hat on this show, to see him getting that recognition, it's got to be such a cool feeling being part of that.
It is. It's so cool, and I've always been such a big fan of his, and I think his work is wonderful, and the way he writes dialogue is just so special. And this is a project that he's a combination of projects that he's wanted to get made over the years, and that never got made. So all of it's coming together in one kind of perfect little project for him, and I think it's incredible, and I'm so happy to be a part of it, and I'm proud of him, and he's so wonderful, and he does it all. He created the show, he writes every episode, he directs every episode and stars in it, and executive produces also. So he does it all, and he stays calm and cool and great on set every day too, and he's just so down to earth.
You're around two people who are the masters of this type of stuff. Tina Fey, writing, direct.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
What do you take away from that? Like, it's like you're literally in a master class with the best of the best.
It's been incredible. I mean, I take away that you can do it all. It might not be easy, and it might stress out your life sometimes, but you can, and also these Ed Burns and Tina Fey both taught me that you can do it all, and you can be normal, and you can maintain a normal family life, and both of them are married with children. So and they're both cool, and they never seem stressed out. So I think it's really inspiring to see people who can do it all and do it with grace, and stay humble at the same time. I think it's kind of amazing.
You're awesome. And I watched the first episode, and I've seen clips, and the show's terrific. So congratulations. Was it tough? Like, this is a whole new awakening point with a new show, but was it tough saying goodbye to 30 Rock when you 7 years in television world is like 50
So long,
years.
I know.
Is it tough saying goodbye?
It was really hard to say goodbye. I started on the show when I was 17, so I kind of grew up on the show, and I kind of learned everything I knew then about acting while I was on the show. And it became a big family, and 7 years is a long time, and I guess like I always knew it wasn't going to last forever and that it was going to end at some point, but when it happened, it's like it's almost overwhelming, and it was very sad. Our last sad, but like a celebratory sadness. Like we were all happy and having parties, but there was definitely like a little bit sad and sentimental feelings going on. A lot of people cried, and it was sad. It was sad to let go of that, but it's also exciting to move on and to see where everyone else is moving on to, because there's so much else out there.
Is there something in your mind, because people did look at you, and you'd mentioned the pigeonholing, but to say, I don't want people just seeing me as this gorgeous girl, but I want them to start seeing me for these meaty roles. Was that a conscious thought that you had to go through and say, now that I'm hitting my 20s, I need to focus on getting the roles that I want to get?
Well, I'm happy with them always thinking of me as a gorgeous girl. But yes, I think that was definitely a focus of mine. I wanted to be taken seriously in the dramatic world. I had done comedy, and I love comedy, and I hope to always do comedy. But I really wanted to take a turn and show people what else I can do.
Good for you. Congrats.